We're also live on YouTube, man. So I don't know if YouTube can see my wingman here. Here we are. It's the morning workout. We're back out. I was supposed to be at the gym today, but I wasn't feeling 100%, man. I think I'm still fighting the remnants of this cold slash flu symptoms I had for the last couple of weeks. So decided to make it a slightly easier workout and take my wingman with me here. You can see the leg of young Zacharias. Say something, Zacharias. Let him know you're here. Zacharias. That's what's up. So we're here. We're working out. Easy workout today. Just going on a little walk run with my homie. Got the body armor to weigh it down. Got my Transformers t-shirt on. We're ready to roll. Good morning, Shot Lucky. What's going on?
Good morning.
The young Irish queen. I assume you're Irish based on your chosen username. If you're not, I'll stand happily corrected. Hunter's in the place. Morning. You're interrupting your podcast. Yes, that's good. It's good you're listening, man. I appreciate that. And by the way, we are on Stitcher now. I don't know if I made that abundantly clear. The podcast is officially on Stitcher. Let's see who else. We got Pocket Thoughts is here. What up? What's up, lady? Got all the young queens on the stream today. Not much. Hello, little man. Yeah. So, if you guys are wondering who little man is, I got...
Hello.
You saying hello, little buddy? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
I got my youngest with me on the trail today. Mommy needed a break. She's teaching first grade this morning. It's my day off from first grade. I have other graders that I have to check on, but that means I get baby duty. When she's on school duty, I get the baby duty. So we bring little man. It worked out that I wasn't feeling my best today because instead of going to the gym, I get to hang out with my wingman. Say what's up. I can actually show you on this channel, right? Yeah. Can't do that on TikTok. Get banned. YouTube will let me do it though, right? YouTube. He's too cute. I'm good, a bit sore after my workout. Sweet. So yeah, my youngest, even though he looks like a 7-year-old because he's huge, he's just a toddler. Doc says his minimum height will be 6'6", which was supposed to be my height, but I was born a little defective, so I didn't grow as tall as I was supposed to. That's why I have really long, lanky ass arms, even though I look like a big dude. My arms don't look that big because I have the arms of someone who's 6'6", and the legs of someone who's 6'6". It's my torso and my back that were born a little deformed, so I didn't grow to my full potential. But that's his minimum height. His maximum height will be well over 7 feet. So we'll see what he chooses to do with his life. Dad might suggest some basketball somewhere in there. I don't know. Bless those smiles. So I titled today's video Happily Angry. So we'll talk a little bit about that today. But as always, I'm really just here for you guys to hang out, to answer questions. What are some challenges you all are facing in your lives, your businesses, that I might be able to give you some insight on, some inspiration, some, wisdom from people way smarter than me that I've learned, maybe can help you out. So that's why I want to have these hangouts, is really just to be here for you guys and to help foster the relationship that we're all building online, because I care way more about the relationships than I do the followings and the likes and the views and all that crap. I really don't. I'm not psychologically manipulated by social media the way 99% of people are, because I'm aware of the manipulation and I know how to push against it. Like, there's no notifications on my phone whatsoever when it comes to social media. It's all turned off on purpose because I understand how they manipulate people. Now, if you're leaving the notifications turned on because you use social media for helpful stuff like my podcast or YouTube, then go ahead, that's fine. But I know me. I do nothing in moderation, so there's just certain behaviors I avoid in life. because I'm not prone to do anything. I don't work out in moderation. I don't train or study in moderation. That means anything bad. Like if you gave me crack, I'd be the best crack addict in the world. I'd be the best at it. I'd be in the Guinness Book of World Records for most crack smoked. That's why I don't smoke crack. Let's see. I coached U13 soccer yesterday, so I'm a little tired this morning after being up till midnight doing school. I can believe that. Teaching is tough, man. I don't know how to word my question. Okay, well, try it. Try to word it, and if you mess it up, we'll fix it. Don't worry about getting it right, just get it. And then make the adjustment. All right, so let's talk about, I'll talk a little bit about this happily angry concept that I pitched to you guys. And I appreciate you being patient with me kind of looking down at you. I'm not trying to have this condescending viewpoint, like, listen to me, bitches. I've got information. Like, I'm doing it because holding my phone 7 feet from my face, the way YouTube wants me to do it is, I'm pretty strong dude with a decent amount of endurance, but I ain't got enough endurance to do that for 3 miles. I'm not that guy, so I'm holding it down here closer to my rib cage where I can actually hold the phone for an hour. You know, TikTok lets me hold it like this, so it gets easier, but YouTube does not allow vertical yet, which is weird because they will broadcast your video in vertical mode. I don't know why they wouldn't let me film a live in vertical mode. YouTube still thinks it's 2005, apparently, but that's okay. The biggest question is, how do I raise leaders? Finite question is, how do I extract my kids' heads from their rear ends? Well, how do you raise leaders? You raise yourself, and then people will follow you. You consistently work on yourself in a disciplined fashion, people will follow you because they'll see the results. You know, I never had to advertise physical training to people. They just saw me come into a place like, yo, you look like you work out really hard. Can you help me? Right? I never had to advertise that because, hey, good morning. I never had to advertise that because people could see the results anytime I walked around. They're like, this dude's freaking huge and he's kind of ripped. You know, he's not bodybuilder, 2% body fat ripped, because who wants to, I mean, you'd be dead if you kept that for anything longer than about a week, maybe. But people saw the results, right? So lead yourself, and as you start to get better and you start to have success, and people want to be around winners, man. No matter how much people love crapping on people on the internet, people want to be around winners, dude. No one likes hanging around losers. So if you start winning in your life, whatever your definition of winning is, there's at least 1 million people on the earth who believe winning in the same way, and they will follow you. That's it. Just win in front of people, you know, and then be honest about your losses. And then that helps build a relationship, because it's like, oh, this guy's not. I remember one time, a really good friend of mine, when I told him about my struggles with mental health, his response wasn't, oh, I'm so sorry. It was like, thank God. So that's an interesting response. He's like, no, it's just because you're such a fucking robot, dude. There's nothing wrong with you. I was like, there's plenty wrong with me. I just kick ass despite my problems. You know? You know, we were joking about crack. My business partner once told me, he was like, dude, I would take you on my team, any team, football, business, doesn't matter. He's like, I would take you on my team drunk and high before I'd take anybody else on my team completely stone sober. I was like, that's a huge compliment. He's like, you drunk and high is still kicking ass harder than the average bear. I said, well, thank you. I work at it. Certainly doesn't come easy or natural. I'm not particularly strong or special. I just try to do what I can. But lead yourself, man. Develop yourself. People will follow. Bottom line. How do you get your kids to remove their head from their ass? Repetition. Just keep going. I don't know how old your kids are, but they're going to have their head up their ass for a long time. And think about it. You still got your head up your ass in some ways, right? So show empathy. Remember what it's like, because just because you're an adult doesn't mean you don't stick your own head up your ass sometimes. I know, maybe you don't. I do all the time. So I just remember that, and I show empathy, and I correct, and I train. And it takes a couple of years for them to get it right because, you know, a human child, especially a boy, is wired to be very different than a civilized society asks him to be. Sitting still for long periods of time and being quiet is not what, and focusing on things that aren't wildly interesting are not how young men evolved. You go back far enough in human history, that young man would have been on a hunt with his dad, like me and this dude, right? We would have been on a hunt together, right, dude? Are we hunting? Are we hunting? Yes? You being shy? This dude is not shy. Don't let him fool you.
I'm sorry.
But no, you're not, liar.
Hi.
Hi. So he'd be out on a hunt. He'd be crazily focused, but he'd be crazily focused on his survival because he was hunting his food. Now, you fast forward to 2020, you're asking that same child to sit still and pay attention to geometry. You really think that's going to work? It's silly. It's like Socrates said, no kid should ever be in school before the age of 10. They should be doing sports and wrestling because that's what they've evolved to do, is learn through contact, not just book learning. Right? Now, was Socrates right? I don't know. But damn, it's worth a shot because my first grader sitting still in class doesn't work too well. So just depending on their ages, manage your expectations is the issue. It's not your kids, it's you. Please enlighten us. Also, how do you get kids to like reading? Incentive. The thing you guys got to understand is what I've been telling you for the last year. The fourth principle of economics. Everybody responds to incentive. Do you guys think I like reading? Like, are you under that delusion that I love reading books? No, I love knowing shit that makes me strong and successful. And books help me do that. So I get a ton of dopamine from reading because as I read and I learn a new thing, I'm stopping to let someone get by. As I'm reading and I learn a new thing, it releases dopamine and serotonin in my brain because my brain is associating, oh, I learned a new thing. That means I'm going to be successful in a new way. And so my brain gets happy when I have that experience. But the act of reading is tedious and boring. So stop trying to get them to like reading. Get them to like something that reading is the requirement for. Fourth principle of economics, all humans respond to incentive, period. Nobody does anything without an incentive. And so many humans underestimate that and get that wrong. They think, oh, I'm just going to get somebody to do something because it's the right thing. No, you're not. You better find an incentive that person cares about. Otherwise, you're not going to get anything done. So find an incentive, something your kids want, that books become the gateway to get. And they'll be reading their asses off. Me, the way I do it, is my kids love video games. I'm like, that's cool. You're going to turn in a book summary of a chapter of an adult book every day this week. And if you miss a day, you don't get any video game time this weekend. So the incentive is I'll read this shitty book because that means dad will let me play video games. But what they don't realize is they're being tricked. They're reading books that are teaching them things that make them like reading more because the books help them. That's the answer to how you get anybody to do anything. You know, how do I get a soldier to charge the hill? Easy. Build a relationship with his and or her. In this case, me, it's his because I worked with all men, right? You get him close with all his brothers to the point where not taking that hill means he's going to let his brothers down. That is an identity death, kiss of death. The soldier would rather die than not take that hill. It's conditioning, right? You can condition a person to behave however you want them to. Now, in this case, the soldier's conditioning is a good conditioning. It's a good manipulation because it's teaching them to have loyalty for the people they love, right? Right? That soldier's thinking, all of my friends would take this hill to save my life. I have to do the same, right? That Kantian fairness bias that we have in our brains. There you go. Same thing. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Jennifer. Took me 40 years to get to this point. That's cool. You got 40 years at least left, so you're only halfway through the game. Keep playing. Thinking about walking in the rain. Do it. It's fun. I love walking in the rain because it means I walk alone. There's no other people out. Good morning from Katashita. Did I say that right? Little brown fawn. Is it Katishita? Is that how you say it? No. Katishtia. Is that how you say it? I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Morning, y'all. So it's Katishtia. Is that how you say it? On Thursday night video stream, I'd like to discuss others' perspective of when I get mad. Okay, yeah, we talk about, listen guys, on these streams, they're your streams, not mine. We talk about whatever you guys want. You guys bring me a topic, we'll discuss it. Usually I don't have a plan, I just turn the thing on and start talking. And I'm hoping that you guys will have questions and ideas that I can help you with, right? Let's see. A question in relation to that. I raise my 4-year-old with affection, now with the goal to have established a relationship where she will want to follow my direction when she's ready for direction. Okay, cool, that sounds good. Hunter says, I do, no worries. I use the frustration of not being perfect to push me. That's cool. Is that to set yourself up for failure because I make her comfortable with me? Like too comfortable? No. That's not a risk. Don't overthink it. You know, yes sir. How may I serve you?
Where's Chris?
Huh?
Where's Chris?
He's in school right now.
Oh, where's Mom?
She's teaching his school right now.
Where's Abby?
I don't know.
Abby's at home.
You think so? Okay, I'll take your word for it. He's talking about his grandmother. We call her Abby, which is short. You know, women don't ever want to be called grandma because apparently women associate being old with Satan or whatever. So my mother didn't want to be called grandma, so we had to make up a name. So I said, we'll take the Spanish abuelita and we'll shorten it to Abby. So her nickname is Abby instead of abuelita. And abuelita because she's tiny and small and young. My biological mother's very young. So if you saw her, I've been in places literally with her and my wife where they thought my mother and I were married and my wife was our daughter because she looked so young. Apparently I must look old because I didn't even have a beard back then. So I don't know what's going on. Either that or the dude was fishing for a tip, which he was going to get anyway. We always tip even if the service is terrible because we believe in paying it forward, not paying for the service you are rendering. We are paying you to hopefully render service better to somebody else. So I always give a tip even if you suck, because I assume if you suck, it's not because you suck, it's because you are having a bad day and you need somebody to have your back. I'm thinking you have to respect and care about someone. Yeah, so you can ask, so don't believe the myth. And this is a myth that's perpetuated by, I believe, people who struggle with leadership in general. Don't believe the myth that you can't be friends with people that you lead. It's nonsense. People that believe that aren't good, they're just not strong leaders. They think they have to push people and be hard and be gangster with people to get them to work. You don't. I just have to find out what you want out of this deal, give it to you and say, hey, the requirements for you to keep this blessing that I just gave you are to do these things. And this blessing will keep showing up every day or every month, whatever we're agreeing on to pay or whatever it is. Next thing you know, the work's getting done. Because the person is more afraid to lose the blessing than they are to not get the blessing that they don't already have. Right? So, you know, I was very close with the people that I led. Always. Because I know how to separate it. Sometimes I have to be the butthole. And I just let them know from the jump, yo, sometimes you're not going to like me. Because that's fine. Because I have to do something that maybe you don't like. But you can absolutely be a friend. My dad that raised me is one of my best friends I've ever had in my life. And he would tell you the same thing. You know, when I first left home, he told me 3 things. You know, and I've told you guys the story before. He told me, you've been a good son, you've been a good brother, and you've been a good friend. And I know you're going to go out there and kick ass on the family's behalf, so go get some, right? So my father ended with friend because he wanted to make it clear that above all else, above being his son, above being his brother, he and I were friends. You know, and as an adult man at that point, to be friends with my idol, you know, the guy I worshipped my entire life, that's a pretty cool feeling. You know, the Bible talks about that, where Abraham becomes a friend to God because of his fellowship with him, right? It's the same principle. That's why I think the author wrote that, was to kind of help people understand this relationship we're supposed to have with each other and the Creator is supposed to be, you know, pleasant, like a friendship. But I think that's a solid question, Pocket Thoughts. But don't worry about breaking your kids. They're all resilient. They'll figure it out. Hey man, you are making it abundantly harder to push you when you do that. Please stop.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's see. I've read my little cousins when they were babies. Oh, let me move over so folks can get by. I have always told them books tell a better story than a movie because the mind has better illustration. Yes. Hey, good morning. Yes. That is actually pretty true. My imagination is usually pretty more vivid than anything I'm watching on screen. That's what I also tell my porn addict friends. Like, dude, your imagination will take you way further than them videos will. Get you a woman and get imaginative. Am I running? Not yet. Right now I'm just walking. I wasn't feeling my best today, so I'm taking it easy. Still got the body armor on though. Thanks for the advice. I'm at the job site now. Wish I could stay, but I gotta go paint. Go do it, Boom. Good to see you, man. All right, I'm about to lose signal because I'm gonna go through a tunnel. Just hang with me. I'm not leaving you. But we do want to talk about the topic, which was happily angry. It's not a very long talk that I need to give. It's just some thoughts I wanted to share with you guys. And it wasn't quite fleshed out enough to be on a podcast. Let's see if I lose signal on this YouTube. Can you guys still, hey, leave me a comment. Let me know if you can still see and hear me.
Oh, this house is just like it.
Yeah, you like it, bro?
Is this a house?
No, it's not a house. It's a tunnel. It's as big as a house, though.
It's a bell.
Huh?
Is that a bell?
Is that what?
Is that a bell?
That's a wall.
Oh.
See and hear. Okay, excellent. Glad to hear that. I didn't completely lose signal. Barely. Yes, but lower quality. Okay. Pocket Thought says it's clear. All right, I'm back in the clear now, so you guys should be able to see it without any real problems. Good morning. All right. So happily angry was an idea that I came up with just thinking about my interactions, observing people on the internet, especially with outrage culture, cancel culture, everybody having commentary about everything as if they read a blog and now, good morning, they're experts on everything. And I've come to an idea, not a conclusion, not even so much a theory, just an idea that I think a lot of people, especially those who are inclined to go on the internet and rant about things like the president or politics or blah, 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 in a way that's angry and outraged specifically, not just people who are having discussions. I think a lot of people are what I call happily angry. And here's what I mean by that. George Floyd gets murdered by a police officer, right? And the whole world erupts, you know, as it should. People sworn to protect and serve shouldn't be out murdering people. The whole world erupts in anger. But what you see is not a lot of people coming together to try to talk about solutions and fixing the systemic racism and the leadership challenges that exist in our country to get rid of these issues, not the least of which part of the solution needs to be psychological evaluations to determine if someone's even mentally and emotionally fit to do this job. Clearly this guy was not, right? So you hear a lot of people screaming and anger and finger pointing and just the kind of content that I hate, which is, huh?
I want to go home.
We are going home.
Oh, we're going home.
Yeah, silly. Just the, hey there, good morning. People get, I think, and I would need someone like Dr. G or maybe my psychotherapist to help me know this to be true. But I believe when people express that type of anger on the internet or they're ranting or venting, you know, I have group text messages that I see a lot of people venting in, like if the president does something that makes them angry, it turns into kind of a bitch session, which fine. But I think, first of all, I don't think it's helpful. I don't think it's effective. And I certainly don't think it's the optimal way to get the solution you want. And what I think is happening is people go on the internet and they make a video or they write a blog being angry and expressing their outrage. And doing so, that screaming for justice basically does, I believe, release some dopamine in the brain. So they're getting some happy drug off of their anger. So they are happily angry. And the reason why I think this isn't helpful or effective is because that's where most people stop. They do their little rant, they do their little complaint session, and then that's the end of it. They don't actually do anything. You know, like I told you guys, I've been joining these groups that are looking out for people who are, you know, have less access to opportunity. We're looking to create that for people, for minorities, for veterans, right? We're having meetings regularly to discuss how are we doing that in our local area with local businesses and people and blah, blah, blah. And we're working with the homeless organizations out here. My wife and I are actually putting a plan together for when it gets a little bit colder to basically hit the streets again this year to go feed the homeless, right? So you don't see a lot of that, but you see a lot of people bitching on the internet, and I think it's ineffective because you bitching does release dopamine. So your brain basically tricks you into thinking you did something useful, and you did nothing but yell on the internet to a bunch of people who really don't care, or, you know, the 14 people that actually care about you, you know, yes-manned you, but you didn't actually do anything. But your brain made you feel, good morning, made you feel as if you did something because that justified anger release, I think, comes with happiness hormones. And so I think a lot of Americans are happily angry, meaning they're looking for reasons to get mad. You know, I have a neighbor that watches the news every day, just so he can sit on his porch and when one of us walks by, he can rant about all the things, you know, he's a Trump supporter, so it's like all the things the Democrats are doing. I'm like, that's great. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. Oh, cool. Right? Like I tell him every day, like, do you actually want to have happiness, or are you enjoying making yourself suffer? And the truth is, he says no, he wants to be happy, but then every day he returns to the same thing, and then he comes outside angry. I'm like, bro, what are you doing with your life? Like, stop it. You know what I mean? And I don't tell him that. I'm like, if you getting up every morning to watch this nonsense on CNN so you can be angry the rest of the day, if that's somehow giving you some level of purpose in your life to keep living, then rock on. But I could come up with 1,000 other things you could be doing right now that not only would make you happy, but would serve other people. For example, this guy is a black belt freaking assassin martial arts former instructor. I tell him all the time, teach me, I'll pay you. Shit, I'll come to your house. You can just beat the shit out of me in your living room. I don't need to go to a dojo. You know, you could be teaching a young man, because he's, you know, this guy's old enough to be my dad. He's not. He's more like a big brother to me, but, you know, it's like, dude, you could be teaching me, like he's taught me how to do chokeholds. Like I could put a bastard to sleep like nobody's business because he taught me how to do it. He taught me that jujitsu shit. And I was like, oh shit, that's how they do it? And then because he did it to me and I didn't pass out, I was like, dang, I have a really high resilience to this. Like I'd be scared to do jujitsu because I'd be scared to get hurt because I can resist some of the stuff a little more than I think I should be able to. You know, like the stuff that should make you tap out. And then I made him tap out. It was like, oh, it's great. You know? Anyway, so it's my question to you guys is, if you're just angry all the time and ranting, yeah, cool. You're getting a little bit of happiness, but you're not actually making a difference in the world. You'll never be a part of our, you know, movement if that's the way you want to go about it. And you could be way happier doing real things. Like, don't you imagine if this dude was coaching young cats like me every day? He had a purpose to get up and teach young men how to be better able to defend themselves. Don't you think he'd go to bed satisfied every night, wouldn't even think about CNN? Of course he would. Morning, Zachary. The illusion of productivity. Yeah, it's a murderer. I would live to learn at least one chokehold. Okay, I'm missing comments here. Let's go back. All right, here we go.
Go, Dad.
Some get jaded after time. They want power of being outraged and victimized, but they are some of the most problematic types. Sometimes, yeah, For sure. Don't see why emotional reaction would be viewed as sound ground for effective solution. So an immediate emotional reaction is okay. Like watching someone get murdered should create anger, and it should create a willingness to be like, hey, let's not do that. Let's talk about why that's wrong. I think the immediate emotional reaction is valid. It's what do you do with the emotional reaction once it's time to actually do something about it, right? Like if I got shot at right now, I would have an emotional response, but I've been conditioned to properly respond to getting shot at. So me and this baby here would go through a series of tactics that would keep us from getting shot, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
But that's because I've trained my mind through repetition, countless amounts of repetition, to react to gunfire in a certain way, in a way that keeps me alive. It's not that I don't have the emotional reaction. It's just I've been conditioned to, despite the emotional reaction, carry out a set of behaviors that keep me alive. That's why I keep coming on the internet and saying the same things over and over to you guys. I'm trying to program you for your own happiness. Not for my happiness, not for how I see the world. How I see the world is not important to you. What's important is however you define happiness. There's a way to get to it. And I want to reprogram your brain with the repetition that's going to help you actually do it, right? And most people don't have that training. They get angry. They immediately got to go to text and ranting and screaming about something. Stop it. You're not doing anything. Like this is a coward's way out of this situation. What could you actually do to affect the problem? What's one thing you could do? You know, maybe donate to the people who've lost property in the riots, right? You know, maybe go to a protest and network with people. Figure out what are some things going on in local communities that you could be a part of, like the local community that I joined, right? So that's all. I just think if you are happily angry, you are cheating yourself out of a lot of real happiness. So it's up to you. That's all I got to say on that. Maybe I'll turn it into a podcast one day. I just wanted to get the thought out. Appreciate you guys listening. That's why I'm so grateful for you and others that help. Thanks, Jennifer. It's the dopamine kick of clicking home a product. Once it's there, people usually don't care about it all that much since the reward's already been given. Yes, or being smart for the sake of it. Complete waste of your IQ. Yes, exactly. Let's see, IQ, if you don't do anything with it, you don't benefit anyone by just being smart. And she says she's guilty. You're not just being smart, Pocket. You're raising a child. Don't sit here and tell me you're not committing any good for anybody. You're a mom. You don't get to play that card. No moms get to play that card. You are definitely doing a service. It's just your time right now is focused on another small human that can't really fend for themselves. So it may not feel like you're doing big things, but wait till that little one, wait till she's 13, you'll see it. You'll be like, oh, that's what all that was for. Cool.
There's another photo. A big giant hole.
Dwelling in excessive emotionality, correction. Haha, true B, I'm a mom. Funny, I didn't even, yeah, most moms don't. Most moms just think that's my lot in life. I'm supposed to be a mom. You have no idea how hard that effing job is. And it's not hard like like Bill Burr has a really good joke about Oprah saying a woman has the hardest job in the world raising a mom. He's like, here, I thought as a redheaded ginger, roofing in the summertime was hard. He's like, apparently being a mom's the hardest job. And I get the joke and he's right, but it's the psychological and emotional part of being a mom that's hard. Louis C.K. has a joke where he says, people always ask him, people that don't have kids are like, what's the hardest part of being a parent? He's like, easy. Being with your children while they be children. He's like, it sucks. It's incredibly boring to sit there with a 4-year-old who can't communicate with you beyond simple phrases. Like, ugh, I don't want to sit there and listen to that. And I was like, that's perfect example of what it's like. I get psychologically burnt out on my kids, where it's like, all right, I have hung out with you long enough. Thank you. Now get out of my room. Because it's like, I just get burnt out with hearing, hey, Dad, did you know that you know, the blue Power Ranger likes to fart in people's mouths? Sure he does. Sure he does, son. I don't care. I help raise my granddaughter. Absolutely. It's hard work. It's hard work. Absolutely.
What am I doing?
Huh? What am I doing? I'm walking you, silly. What are you doing?
No, I'm talking about mommy.
Good morning. You talking about what?
Mommy.
Oh, I don't know. I told you already. See, that's what raising a 4-year-old is like. Just asking the same question over and over again, because in his brain, he doesn't even know what Earth is yet. He's just trying out words because he's learning how to communicate. And that's incredibly boring for a person who lives off of intellectual stimulation. It's one of the reasons why I hate the things I hate. Like, I hate most movies. I hate reading fiction, because if I'm not intellectually stimulated, I'm bored. And that's a symptom of a lot of my mental disorders, right? A person that needs to constantly be stimulated to be focused. It's not a good thing. Like, just being in the moment is hard for me. It takes a lot of focus. If being in the moment is not something that I'm grossly interested in. It's one of the reasons why for so many years I didn't see exponential growth in followers on social media, because I get too bored with the topic and I move on and I leave viewers behind. Like, damn, I thought he was going to talk about this. No, I'm on to this next thing. You know, it's just the way my brain was. So I disappoint a lot of people, but it's what it is. You know, Joel Salatin once taught us in a business seminar. He says every entrepreneur eventually hates their customers because their customers don't evolve as fast as the entrepreneur. Meaning, you don't hate the humans, you hate that they don't keep up with you. Like, oh, I got this new thing that's really gonna help you. Oh, I still like this old thing. No, but trust me, this new thing I'm working on is the truth. No, I'm good. Don't you understand? I'm building this for you. This isn't for me. You know, that's what it's like, for example, trying to get 250,000 people. I just want a couple thousand of them to come hang out with me on YouTube. It's been like pulling teeth. And I give, from what I'm told, tremendous value to these people. And most of them can't be bothered to click on a YouTube. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying that's how life is, man. That's the way it goes. You're welcome. I raised a son. He's 26 now. I'm doing it all over again with a 3 and 6-year-old. How are you old enough to have a 26-year-old? I don't believe you. Are you raising somebody else's kid? You're not old enough for that. At least you don't look it. Bhagavath says, the culture doesn't really evaluate that role. Us women are praised when we follow the traditional male role. Being a mom is something you do on your spare time. CK is spot on that. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Being a mom is something you do in your spare time. That's bullshit. Who's saying that? Get away from those humans immediately. And I get the sentiment. I'm not at all contesting what you're saying, because, like, I know the laws, for example, about maternity leave. They're ridiculous. But, yeah, I don't get this. So I had a woman on my staff who got pregnant. And I told her, this is how this is gonna go. Because, you know, on my team, you eat what you kill, right? So I don't necessarily, at this stage, believe in just flat out salaries. I'm like, no, I'm gonna teach you how to go make your own money, and we'll do it together, and we'll split it, and you'll take the bigger cut, right? So I'll teach you how to do this, and then eventually you can go do it yourself. You don't have to involve me, right? So I'm paying these people according to the work they're doing. And she hits me up like, yo, I'm pregnant. I'm about to have this baby. What do I do for the team? I said, you go raise your baby. Well, what about my role as the community manager? I said, that's not going anywhere as far as I'm concerned. I'll do it while you're babying, or I'll get Tony or Steven to do it. Steven took it over. And you come back whenever you're good and ready. I don't want to hear or see from you until you and the baby are squared away. Peace. And when you come back, we'll have something for you. If you just, and she decided not to come back. She actually took a lot of what we teach in our coaching programs, and she started her own business, which we helped her with. Like, yo, we'll help you. If nothing else, with advice. Like, here's what you do. Here's what I know. Right? That's the type of people you want to link up with. Those are the entrepreneurs you want to hitch your wagon to, are the ones who get it. The ones that believe in this 1950s, pay people by the hour bullshit when nobody's working that hard for 8 hours a day. None of you are. Stop it. Unless you're doing labor type shit, you're not working that hard. Calm down. Right? Even in the Army, I wasn't working usually full 8-hour days when I was not fighting. When I was fighting, you're working 24 hours a day. But morning, y'all.
Morning, dog.
It's, you gotta start linking up. Like, if people believe that horse hockey that you just said, pocket thoughts, and I know people believe it. I've been places where they believe that nonsense. Dudes that grew up in the 60s and 70s, these old farts who think they understand Earth and they don't know shit about people or management. They say those things, but that's because their business can get away with saying those things. A real business is going to create interdependencies amongst the people, meaning I need you, which means I need to pay you accordingly and value you and express to you how much I need you in the way that I treat you and pay you, right? Like Tony, for example, is working on a contract that my business used to have. And I gave it to Tony as I hear, and I gave him over 50% of the contracts. Here's the money. Because having him on my team is way more valuable than, and having him help me serve veterans, for example, and veteran-owned businesses is way more valuable than me making an extra couple $100 a month. Right? Those are the people you want to link up with, because those are the people that will be in business for 100 years. I imagine GE, they are the only business that still exists from when the stock market started. I imagine, despite any wrong they may be doing now, because they're huge, they did a lot of right in the beginning. That's why they're still here. Raising my kids now is a whole new perspective that I wish I had back then. They're a gift to me. I had them at 18. Okay, so you're like my mom. I got it. Yeah, my mom had me when she was a kid too. So I get it. Still not believing 44. I still think you're lying. And you're 26-year-old, you just adopted him. And you're not telling anybody. I'm kidding. That is the culture that is being pushed. You are of value when you raise tax funds. Otherwise, you're not. And staying home, raising the next generation, is not viewed as anything of value by the current culture. So which culture is this? Because I've talked to so many women who have that sentiment. I was trying to help a woman. She was a stay-at-home mom. She was a marketing executive for years, but then she became a stay-at-home mom for 7 years, but then she got divorced. And she was like, I don't know what to do. Like, look, dude, you already have the skills, and you've been the COO of a business for 7 years. That's what raising kids is, if you're doing it well, and not just sitting around in yoga pants eating candy while the kids watch Netflix all day. Like, if you're actually raising them, you're working. So if I was hiring, at the time I wasn't, I said, I'd hire you in a second, because I know not only do you raise your kids, you raise the other man you're with's kids. And they like and respect you. Like, that's not a game. I need someone like that on my team to deal with my customers. Are you kidding me? After dealing with kids, you'd be a murderer doing sales and marketing with customers and helping people. Like, because humans are way easier than kids. Pop the kid and hand it to the government and get back to the... Yeah, that's ridiculous. Sweden, yeah. Ah, Sweden. You're hyper wannabe intellectual asses. Aren't you guys a more egalitarian society too, though? Meaning, like, men and women are kind of... There's a lot more equality with the men and women. Yeah, Jenny is awesome, believe it or not. Woo! All right, hard part of the workout is now over. We've made it up Soul Crusher Hill. I don't know if you noticed I had to stop twice because I'm also pushing somebody that weighs 90 pounds, plus carrying my big ass and an extra 30 pounds on my back with this body armor. You're different, B. You know that. That is the perspective a wise man has. Seeing qualifications you have to develop to be. Yeah, no. I totally get that what I'm saying is rare. I'm just telling you to go find it and only work with those types of people. Don't hitch yourself to the wagon that believes that nonsense that you just said. Because yes, a lot of people do believe it. I get it. But there's a lot of people who don't. Like I was consulting a video game developer a couple years back, and he and I still exchange pleasantries from time to time. And his whole staff was people who were in protected groups between LGBT, and like he had a lot of work cut out for himself from a human resources perspective, because you have a lot of people who oftentimes feel disenfranchised that he had to take care of, and he worked his ass off to make those people feel welcome and that their workspace was a safe space for their way of living life. And you know, there are people out there, like he went into debt trying to take care of these people and get them money, you know what I mean, with his business, and then trying to get profitable again. Like there are people out here who will kill for their people. You just got to find them. They exist. It's just harder to find, because yes, we're different, we're rare, but we exist, believe me. And that's why one of the reasons I've been telling you Pocket Thoughts, because I'm gonna let you in on some inside business. One of the reasons I've been telling you to go ahead and get your coaching certification, if that's something that you still want to do, is because then I can hire you to coach the same way I hire my coaches to coach you. I can get you out there doing work for people. You're a freaking assassin. You're a young woman, so people would be inclined to listen to you, especially women. I have a lot of women that follow me that may prefer a woman coach. Some don't. Some prefer a guy, right? So but you're a no-nonsense, young, energetic person who knows a lot of things, who's been through a lot of things, and can certainly help a lot of people, right? So we get you certified, you know, as I have stuff, like I said, what we kill, if something comes in, and I have someone that's a good fit for you, I send them your way. And then you make some cash. And I get to help a person, because that's what I do, right? So there's people out there that certainly, I mean, technically you'd never have to have another job in your life. You just gig, you just hustle and work when you can. And you know, you make your money like a rapper. It's feast or famine, right? If you're not hustling, you're not making money. So there's no guaranteed paycheck, but you're also getting a much bigger paycheck for way less hours, because the value of what you're doing is so much higher than, you know, I couldn't care less about how much time someone spends on a product. Like, don't charge me for time. What is this worth to you, right? I don't care how many hours you're about to spend on this. What is it worth? I'm not paying you by the hour. What is this thing value-wise to you? What's the money? Okay, cool. And that's what I'm gonna pay you, you know? Yeah, Pocket Thoughts, that's why I've been trying to push you to get your certification on, or get whatever it is, even if it's counseling. I'll send counseling people to you, I don't care. Like right now, no BS. My mother-in-law is going through coaching certification, because she's gonna be one of my coaches. You know Tony, because you know, you worked with Tony. You know of Alyssa, I work with her. She's certified, right? Be happy to add more people that I trust to that number of folks that I can send clients to, right? Then I get to be a help to you and your family, and you get to make some cash doing something that you actually believe in, and you're not at the mercy of these people who believe. And you can take time to raise your kid whenever you see fit, because you set your schedule. You know, a job's gonna tell you when to be, where to be. I have no interest in that. I just have interest in outcomes. If you can get this thing done by this date and this time, I don't care how you do it, execute, right? And not just me, there's plenty of other stuff you can do out there that'll let you live free and live life on your terms and not somebody else's, especially not some other place that doesn't even share your values. They think a woman raising kids is something she should do in her spare time, because she should be up here, you know, as a cog in the machine that I'm running. Like, F you. Kind of psychopath you have to be to treat humans like that. No way. That's why I have no interest in ever taking a company public. I don't ever want to grow it to the point where I don't have a say in what the core values are. Me too. I'll have my certification tonight. There you go, Jenny. See, Jenny's another one. There we go. Yeah, and Jenny too, right? So there's no mystery. No mystery to how the money is changing hands. You just have to think not like a laborer. You have to think like an entrepreneur and a hustler. And there's always a way to do it. Hey, Keisha, how you doing? Good to see you, lady. No one knows who I'm talking to, but Keisha knows. All right.
The farm.
What'd you say, bro?
The farm.
The pond?
No, the farm.
The what?
The farm.
The pond?
No, the farm.
The bomb?
The farm.
The farm?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you're saying? Okay, yeah, that's not a farm. But I get why you thought that. All right.
I'm on my tree.
Jenny.
Jimbo.
Keisha says, good. Keisha here. What's up, lady? Good to see you. Whew. So I just finished my last piece of content for the TikTok planning. I should start recording today. Probably have content out as early as tomorrow or Friday. Bad news, my laptop will not be here tonight. Very disappointed about that. It won't be here now till Friday because the payment didn't go through because I used the wrong account on Amazon. And Amazon, it doesn't notify you right away when the payment doesn't go through. They just tell you, hey, it's good. I'm like, all right. And then you leave, but I didn't get an email or anything that said, hey, yo, your payment didn't go through. So I didn't catch it till this morning. And my laptop's supposed to be here today. And so now I basically didn't order it till today, which sucks, but you know, it just means we won't be able to do the stream tomorrow that I wanted to do. But that's okay. We'll still stream and talk about something else. Yeah, when we get home, bro, at recess time, we'll go to the playground. Not here, though, okay? We'll go to our little private playground at the house. Is that okay? That's okay? Okay, cool. Appreciate you, man. Brian, I love listening to your son. He's awesome. Yeah, he is, isn't he? Everyone wants to talk to you. They want to hear your wisdom, man. What do you have to say to the people?
I know. Hello.
You don't know? Hello. Yeah. They said they love listening to you.
I love you.
I love you too. I guess he's telling you guys he loves you too. Adapt and overcome. Yep. That's the way we do it. So we'll still have a stream tomorrow night. It just won't be the stream I wanted it to be. But it's life, man. Who cares? Maybe that's what it's meant to be. Maybe I'm meant to play Death Stranding again, and you guys are meant to laugh at me being a bitch because I can't beat video games, and then I get mad, and then I say the game sucks because I suck at the game. It's pretty much how I roll. Anything I suck at sucks until I don't suck at it, and then it's fine. Like a boss. Hello, man. They're saying hello to you, buddy. Jennifer says like a boss. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Jenny. Jennifer says, hi, sweetheart. She's talking to you, Zachy. He is a blessing. What a sweetheart. The little one. Yes, he is. And he is loved. Yes, he is loved by a lot of people. Isn't that right, homie? Yeah? You got hair just like your grandpa, man. Straight hair just like your pops. I wish I could have got some of that. I wish Grandpa would have bestowed upon me the straight hair that you got, but oh well. I got this weird mix between nappy and straight hair, that baby hair that grows on my temples so it looks like my hair doesn't grow there. So that's the hair I got. I must have got my biological father's hair. Hold tight, I got you. Try not to fall down this hill, right? Yeah? You are so lucky to have him. Oh yeah, but absolutely lucky. Absolutely. No question.
Hey, Daddy.
Uh-oh. We're dug in, buddy. We gotta back up. Hold tight. This hill is more treacherous than it appears. Whew. You guys want to see what we're looking at here? There you go. How's that for a view? That do you right? That gets you up in the morning? That's my view every morning. Whew. It's time to trim the beard too. I want to dye my beard white. Do they make white hair dye? I want to see what I look like with a white beard. Instead of this brown, black, gray mashup of wiry hair. Just make it all white. Yeah, I'm beyond lucky to have these boys, man. They're part of the reason I'm still alive. I'd have been dead a long time ago if it wasn't for my wife and kids, and that's a guarantee. Because I got to a point where I didn't feel like I had any reason to get up anymore. You know, I've gone through identity death. It's not fun. Not fun to die to who you think you are and to question it and to have other people question it and do it for so long that you start to question it. It's a dark place to be after you've won hard the first part of your life. All you did was win, and then you just take straight L's for 10 years. That'll wake your ass up, make you question why you're playing the game. You think it's tough, good. That toughness is testing you to see if you're worthy of that crazy ass dream you had the audacity to say out loud. And so every day I got to get up and fight for it. All right, we're running. Hold tight, little man. All right. Man, and traffic was kind enough to let us cross the street, so we ran for it. Beautiful, awesome family. I'll be going on a walk immediately after this. Cool. You guys can walk with me when I'm doing these hangouts in the morning too, because I think I'm going to keep doing them. It's around 9:30 in the morning. I'll probably do it every Monday, at least, if I'm not at the gym. Basically, I'll do this on the days I'm not at the gym. If I'm at the gym, I ain't live streaming. I gotta focus too much. You remove the color, definitely doable. It's how women get platinum blonde. Okay, I need to figure out how to do that. I'm sure that's gonna make me look crazy old if I do it though. Yeah. People think your dad's old, bro. He's making fart sounds. That's his answer. There is no crying in the tears. You dig that? So I gotta remove the color. Does that mean I gotta bleach it like hydrogen peroxide or something like that? Whew. All right, we're gonna hang back a little bit, buddy. I don't want you close to where the traffic is, all right? Okay. There is no spoon. Amen to that. Pocket Thought says, yes, B, that is correct. All right, bet. All right. Just waiting for the light to turn so we can get up out of here. Here we go. Showtime. And these people are turning, so I'm going to have to run again. Try not to hold them up. Here we go, Zach. Let's move, man. Got it. Get some.
Whoa. That was fun.
You like that?
That was going long. Whoa.
Oh, man. Yeah, let's get out of the way. so they can come walk through.
I'm not going there.
You want to go to church? Okay. How y'all doing? Good morning.
I'll go to church now. I'll go to church now.
You want to go to church now? Okay.
I'm going to church.
Believe it or not, little buddy, this is the first church I ever went to on my own, because I wasn't raised in church. I started going by myself when I was a young dude. And this is the church I used to come to, bro. The pastor, still the same pastor. And he always forgot my name until I came back 15 years later and he remembered it. What a cool cat. It's called Bleach. All right, Bleach it is. Whew. That sure is not a game when you sprint it, especially pushing a baby, right? All right.
I'm going home now.
I'm going home now.
Yeah, I know. I like to see his van.
Yeah?
I like to see his van.
Okay.
I like his van.
Yeah?
Look at house.
Yeah.
Look at house.
Yep. We're getting closer.
Look at house. Don't
Come on. You got someone turning. Double time it up. Don't run. I had to run. Try to get out of people's way, man. And it's good for me to help get the extra work. What's up, Marty? Good to see you, man. Whew. All right, what other questions you guys got for me? I'm done. Appreciate you all being here this morning. Did you guys check out the new podcast already?
Okay, so.
It's a very good one. I know Jenny did, because she hit me up about it. And we'll talk about it in depth tomorrow on the live stream. I mean, Jenny, we can talk about it on these streams too if you ever want to. I'm happy to do it. Whew. If you guys are wondering who's making that noise, he's right here. Let's see. Listening to Play-Doh now. Sweet. Play-Doh. I will tell you, it gets increasingly more interesting the further you get into that story. Because we're going to do Aristotle next, and he's got some really cool ideas. And then I think after that is Francis Bacon, and then Voltaire. I think that's the order. Either way, all of them crazily interesting people. I'll have to get going. I'll chat with you tomorrow night. Cool, I'll see you tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm gonna bounce too. You guys stay strong, man. It's always a pleasure to see and hear your faces. Do you recommend a specific coaching certification course? I don't, because I went through a very different type of certification for myself. I didn't go the coaching route. I felt like, you know, a lot of the requirements these coaching certifications wanted me to have, I'm already years beyond it. So I went for a different certification than coaching because I thought it would help me a little bit better, because most of the coaching I was doing was for businesses and business owners, not so much one-on-one life coaching. And so I got a different certification for facilitation and helping run those types of business meetings. There's still a lot of coaching involved in it, but I felt like I had the coaching part down. So I say all that to say I'm probably not the best person to advise you, because my certification lies elsewhere. Tony can tell you for sure. I think he did the International Federation of Coaches, what is that, IFC? Something like that. He'd have to tell you for sure though. Because he tried to get me to sign up for it years ago, and I called them and did everything, but then they never got back in touch with me. I was like, well, they must not be very pressed for my money, so I'm not very pressed for their silly ass certification. I could probably teach their certification course, was the way I felt about it. So maybe that's a little arrogant, but you know, when you've been teaching and coaching people since you were 17 years old, you kind of get a knack for it decades later. All right, we'll talk soon. Been working on ecology. We can talk about that sometime. Yeah, I'd love to. Pleasure is all ours, B. Thank you for your presence and time. Oh, thank you guys. Cheese, what's up, man? Is that the Good Life Playbook band or live YouTube? I'm not sure what the question is, Jenny. If you're talking about the live stream, we're getting ready to do it's on YouTube Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cool. All right, gang. I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Love you much. Peace.